What is going on, everybody? It is Will, Kelly, and Caleb Bartlett back, bringing another hopefully great content, great video for you. Live session Q&A. We're going to be jumping in with Q&A here at the end. So obviously, anybody that's been watching, we do this once a month, and really this is for you guys to hopefully help you guys grow your lawn and landscape business. So Caleb, thank you so much for jumping on with me. Caleb is in a new background today. So Caleb, share with us what's going on. What's going on over there with Spruce Lawn Care.
Yeah, so new shop, new headquarters, upgrades, pretty
Yeah.
sweet. We got a lot more space in here. I'm on the laptop, of course, but yeah, we just moved from having like 3 little 10 by 20 storage units into a 15 by 30, and that's what we're in right now. So big upgrade instead of having to switch between 3 units in the morning and all that stuff. So super convenient. And the plus is this is actually cheaper by $100 a month compared to the 3 units, and I have more space. So it's pretty sweet.
Did you say how many feet it was?
About 450, and it's $250 a month.
That's solid. That's solid. I see you got some organization things in the background with the shelving units and stuff too. So very cool. And
Oh, yeah.
before the video, he was showing me, I don't know if you guys could see back there, but he got a new sign. And
I'm gonna show it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I know it's a little weird because I'm on my laptop, but
we need to show people, like, we're not just YouTubers. We actually mow lawns and set up trucks. So awesome. So what Caleb is doing right there is he is not only marketing his lawn service business, but he's also marketing for people, because if there's one thing that we know, it's like not only do you need to market for new customers, but you also need to market for new employees as you start to grow and scale the business. So I think that's awesome. We do that on every single one of our trucks. We also do that on our flyers. We also put like now hiring and like, what we pay and things like that, because we're always marketing for people, I think that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Kelly.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah. So today's topic, we have 7 tips to grow your mowing business in 2024. And these can be all over the place, but I had Caleb sit down and come up with 7 of his own tips. I've got 7 of my own tips. And if we're really lucky, we may have a special guest jump on and give us maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of their special tips and tricks to grow the mowing business. But we'll see. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But did you want to start us off, Caleb, of what maybe a tip from you that you would recommend for anybody that's listening?
Yeah. So this is something that I've really thought about, and what I'm doing now is just simply work hard. Like that's all I can say is 2 words: work hard. When you're starting your business, when you're trying to grow it quickly, you just got to put in the work. Work the Saturdays, sometimes even Sundays. I'm not saying your employees have to, but put in the work and just do it, get it done. Even when it's uncomfortable and you don't want to be there and your head's hurting, you're stressed out, and you got clients canceling, they're mad at you, employees are leaving. Just, you got to get through it. There's no stopping. If you stop, it just falls apart. You got to keep pushing. So that's what I've realized, like, especially this year too, is just pound the pavement. You got to go. You got to do it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's huge. And I feel like not only like that pertains to every aspect and every role in the business, all the way from people out in the on the front lines, like pushing the mower, all the way up to like, a general manager, to a regional manager, estimator, applicator, whatever you're doing, landscaping crews. I think that's huge. Like it's a grind, and there's an on season, or there's a go season, and then there's an off season. So the time to rest is in December, January, February. So it's time to roll. I like that. I like that point a lot.
Thank you.
So one of my, or did you have something else you were going to say?
No, I was going to say, like, what would be one of your tips that you would have?
Yeah, so these are going to be all over the place, and I've realized that these tips that I'm sharing with you, these are some things that, like, in the back of my mind, I'll write down on the whiteboard and be like, "Okay, we need to do this." So these are all things that we've learned, like, along the way of what we would recommend. This one's a real simple one, but we do weed control and mowing services for all of our mowing customers. So it's really important that they're watering properly to get a nice healthy lawn. Our motto here is like to bring the best looking lawn on the block. So my daily tip, one of my 7 is send a watering recommendation to a new customer when they we give them literally parameters. So we send a policy and fees email already, like when they book, telling them like there's fees and stuff. But we also send an additional watering recommendation. Like to get the best results out of our program, follow these watering steps based on this degree, how many times a week, and at what time, because that matters as well.
So, do you just send that right as you sign them up, or do you send that, like, every so often to kinda remind them of that?
Yeah, both.
Both? Yeah.
Both.
Something
Yeah.
that I've done with that, with the watering tips and lawn tips in general is I actually added all those tips into the schedule, email. So whenever I send them the data service, like 2 days in advance, it's gonna tell them, "Make sure you water at this time," these different watering tips, what to do with your lawn, um, before each and every visit, so that gives them, like it's right there immediately, "Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta make sure I do this." And I think it's closer to, like, when the service gets done, and they it's just on top of their mind. Like, I feel like if you sent it maybe at, like, the beginning, like, it might be and that's it, it might forget about it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, as Copilot here, I got the shirt, I'm wearing it. As Copilot starts to expand, like we do plan on putting that. So, whenever we complete a weed treatment, they do get an email that says like, "Hey, your fertilizer service has been done," and we will add that to that service to kind of tailor it because obviously in the fertilizers, it's during the warmer months, spring and fall is like different times for watering, but yeah, that's smart too. Also, like putting it at the end of the service. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
All right.
no, I put it at before. Whenever I send them, like, the service date, it's in that email.
Oh, I got you. So letting them know, like, hey, we're gonna be out there. Make sure you're watering. Yeah, I
Right,
like
right,
it.
yeah, I'm like, "Hey" yeah, like, "Hey, we'll be here around the 15th," and then under that, it shows, like, different tips for, like, watering. I can't remember what else is in there, but, like, also the schedule of products that we use, like, what months we put out certain products.
Yeah, awesome. I like it. I like
Cool.
it. All right. What's
Yeah.
tip number 2 for you?
Yeah, yeah, so another thing, like, that I've focused on this year and last year is, like, really just putting yourself out there. So, take every opportunity that you can get to gain more traction with customers, um, marketing in general, getting Google reviews, talk to people in the street that are in front of their house, walking, doing 5 arounds. 5 arounds meaning, like, the house that you're mowing, you're doing, like, the 5 houses around it and putting up flyers. And then you've got a sign in the front of their lawn too with your name, like, ours is Spruce Lawn Care. We put a sign down, we put a 5 around their home, and then they get that flyer, they're like, "Oh, yeah, my neighbor, they use Spruce Lawn Care." Boom, like, they're gonna use us, you know? Um, Always try to create opportunities, put yourself out there, like, on Facebook, I got this tip from, Will, um basically I'll if I see someone posting like, "Hey, I need a lawn guy, for biweekly, my guy went MIA." Like, I'll put my website down there and I'll say, We're reliable, we're local." And I'm doing that all the time. I'm always checking Facebook and I'm catching every single person that says that. Um, so yeah, put yourself out there and that's gonna help you like seriously grow the business quickly if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Hold on one second. Do we have a guest speaker coming in? Oh snap! Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's
you are
go.
all in for a treat. Come on, roll over here. Hold on, scoot over, scoot over.
Let's
Look who it
go,
is.
Larissa.
What's up? I actually
How's
have
it
some
going?
notes too. Sorry, I'm trying to
All
squeeze
right.
in here.
So for anybody that doesn't know, this is Larissa, my wife. She's the general manager at the Aubrey location, obviously co-owners. We own 2 lawn care companies. So she's got some great nuggets. She's fully in depth with the operation side of things. So just so you guys know, this is a Q&A. So at the end, if you guys have questions, we will answer them too. But what do you got here?
So a huge one, Caleb, when you started mentioning marketing and the signs and everything, I couldn't agree more. And logoing up trucks is huge. I can't tell you how many times Will and I have drove around and we're like, oh, there's someone mowing a lawn or treating a lawn or something. There's no logo on the truck. And so we're like, us, even if we were looking for someone, not that we are, but if we're looking for someone that's doing a service out of a truck that's unlogoed, I have no way to figure out who they are unless I stop my car, roll down the window or get out, track them down, see what it is that they're doing, because it doesn't say what they're offering on there. It doesn't say their phone number. It doesn't give them their name. I can't just out of the convenience look them up based off of their name on the truck. So that is huge. I know so many people don't, or they'll get a magnet, which is better than nothing, but I would highly, highly recommend logoing up a truck.
That's big. That's big.
Solid.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
You got anything else for the people?
Maintaining equipment. It may not seem like it's really going to get you more sales. However, it's going to help you a lot. So we're actually cracking down on this hard. We've talked about it for a while. We've had some of our equipment numbered, so we know each equipment goes with a certain truck and to a certain person. However, I'm getting down into like the nitty gritty now, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting the serial number for this. I'm figuring out when the date it was purchased and how often that's been going in for maintenance. Because if I have one mower that's constantly getting worked on, is it really worth me always bringing it back and it nickeling and diming us all the time? Or if that one mower is constantly acting up and being a problem, is it better to retire that one and just get a new one to save my guys from having to go back and forth while they're already out on the route? I want them to be efficient. I want them to make good money. We're all on the same team. So if they're having a mower or something else constantly breaking down on the truck, I need to investigate that. That's part of my job.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you handle like labeling your trucks and mowers? What have you found to be is the best approach for that to keep track of, the numbers and all of your equipment and stuff like that?
Good question, because we're going through it again. So when we get our trucks logoed, we're having them label the truck then with the decals that they use with our logos and our phone numbers and everything, which is like a vinyl. For our equipment, I have bought before the little stickers that you can get at like Atwoods or Walmart or anywhere, like just the little 3-inch, 4-inch stickers. I think they're 3-inch stickers actually. And I was putting that on the equipment, and that lasted for a while. And then I had to replace them because it's getting left out in the weather. It's getting baked in the sun. So then it's getting all peely or dried off, or when it gets wet from the rain or something like that, if the guys get caught out there, then it starts to peel off in the corner. So I actually just bought stencils and I put it on there, and then I just spray painted it. And it's so easy that if I ever have to switch the number of that mower for whatever reason, spray paint over it with black and then go back over it. We do yellow because all of our mowers are red. So we just use black to recover it up and then yellow to repaint the number. And then I'm doing that on our mowers, weed eaters, edgers, blowers, not really doing it on our trimmers, but for the equipment that we need, one of each on every truck.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
That's smart.
Caleb, do you have any questions for Larissa while we have her here as a special guest?
I like what you said about
time?
spray painting the stencils. Question. Oh, how many people do you have that you manage?
Right now, 2, 4, 6, 7 field members, I believe.
So
and
what's
then we're
been
hiring like 2 more.
okay? What's been like the biggest struggle managing? You said it was like 9 people.
Yeah. So right now, was hiring so many new people. So we have a couple that have been with us for a couple years. But just hiring so many new people, because we've gone from what did we say? Like over 240 clients, I think, last year, and we're at like 380 right now. We've jumped up.
Mm.
So just training a lot of new people. So my phone, as much as I try to get them trained up for as many scenarios as possible, my phone is ringing a lot during the day right now, which is okay because they're asking questions, they're learning. I encourage them to, but that is probably just the biggest struggle right now because I can't always answer their call immediately because I am meeting with a client or I am getting a video for a landscape job, or I am talking to Elizabeth in the office, asking or answering any questions she has. So there's lots of stuff I'm doing. It's just being on my phone, I think, a lot right now.
Yeah, definitely. What I thought about, like, maybe at your size, what if you had like a senior employee with the most experience that would maybe you could have some of the team members reach out to them?
Yeah, so they do. So they have a trainer that they're put with. So we have a couple guys on our team that are pretty experienced. And we do tell them, like, hey, if you have questions, go directly to your trainer first. If you can't get in touch with them, because once they've gone through training, I like to try and get them out on their own if possible. Now, with me hiring more people, because I'm still hiring like 2 more people for my location, it's going to have 2 people in a truck. So when they're riding solo right now, just to get that experience and get that repetition in, I'm having them reach out to the people that are on our team first, and they do. There are just certain things where they do ask me if it's a question on the dispatch board where they're like, hey, these notes, they know that their crew members also can't see it or their coworkers can't see it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you for that. That's good.
You're welcome. Got a limited time edition here. Anything else I can help you with? And anybody else in the chat too. Like if there's anything that you guys think of question wise, I'll pop in probably again at the end to see if there's anything too.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on. So just so you guys know too, there's a Facebook group that we put out. Larissa and I do plan on doing a podcast. So we'll answer all those other questions that you guys asked, probably in a different series. But yeah, appreciate you coming on.
You're welcome.
So awesome.
Thanks for having me.
You're
It was
welcome.
Good to see you, Caleb.
See ya.
Awesome. Okay. So I think I left off on mine. So the second tip that I would say, and I was actually just talking to a business owner that is local to my market. And he was saying, how he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, like just constantly, like this whole spring rush, like it's crazy. Like, he's got upset customers and like training new people, all that stuff. And really, it's very simple. Simplify to scale. So obviously when you first get started, you have to do everything. You're doing fencing, you're doing sod, you're doing tree trimming, you're doing mowing, you're doing weed control, you're doing anything you can find on YouTube. But if you do want to scale, you have to simplify things and you have to cut things out. And so what I would recommend, my tip is at the end of each season, hopefully your CRM can pull a report at the percentage of revenue that you made for each individual service. And honestly, if you do 10 services and the bottom 1 or 2 is only like 1 or 2%, just cut it out. Literally cut it out. Like you're just wasting time and energy on it when you could be focusing on the meat and potatoes that makes you the most money. Focus on that. That's my tip.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's good. I've done the same thing too. Like I think I'd spoken to you, like I think it was last March or April when we first like started talking, and I cut out a ton of different little things that we didn't need to be doing that were like just low revenue. Like I was looking at like mulch removal, and it was like $2,000 out of like whatever revenue we made last year. It's like it's not anything. It's just breadcrumbs. Like it just doesn't make sense to have that service if it's not bringing in hardly any revenue, and it's making things complicated for your company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. What's your number 3? I think we're on number 3.
Yeah. Number 3, I would say, so I hear people say like hire fast, or no, hire slow and fire quickly. Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe, like, I guess it depends on where your business is at, where you're at. And I don't know if hiring slow makes sense because you might need somebody to fill a role quickly. I believe in smart hiring and firing quickly. Take your like do your due diligence when you're hiring someone. Do the references. Um, do an in-person interview. Don't just throw them in a truck and then have them go work with no interview or even previously talking to them. Do a background check. All those things. I think just being smart with your hiring, trying to get better and better at it is what you should focus on. And then when someone breaks your trust or someone just does something behind your back or you tell them to do something and then they just do it the way you didn't want it, like on purpose, like intentionally, and they didn't care, like fire them, get rid of them quickly. Don't let them stay and poison the business and your team, because that's what's going to happen, and then you're going to lose your entire team and possibly your business.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, sometimes you do have to set an example, like with somebody. Unfortunately, but just otherwise, like those rules are just suggestions at that point. If you're not enforcing them,
yeah,
that's a good one. That's a
exactly.
really good one.
Yeah, I think what I've heard from like Mike is like firing is the best way to. I think he says like set a standard in your business and your team. Like if let's say you have team members that are always being late, or this one guy is always being late, or everyone's being late, right? And then you fire the one guy that's been the most late, you let him go. You're setting the standard by doing that, and it's only going to happen by you doing that,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So
absolutely.
yeah.
That's a
Yep.
good one.
What about you? What's your third one?
So Larissa actually took my third one, so I'll just go to the fourth one. It was track equipment, but number 4. So don't ever pay just hourly rate. That's my biggest key point. And it sounds so simple. A lot of us follow Mike Andy's content, follow his systems, and all that great stuff. But I'll take it a step further. So for our YouTube channel, we are looking at ramping it up. And I literally just hired a video editor on Saturday that's now joining the team, and is going to be our video editor for our YouTube channel. Well, guess what? Obviously, we went through the whole phone interview. We're like, hey, what are you looking to make per hour? And, he's like 25, $30 an hour. I'm just like, okay, cool. Like that's awesome. However, I'm not actually just going to pay him that, because I don't believe in just the hourly model. It's a very lazy way to pay people. And if you want results, pay them what result you want them. And so for us, we're doing like a base salary for him plus bonuses based on how well the videos do. And so each month, I believe he can make well above that what he's requesting, as long as he, does a good job. And as the channel grows, like it's going to be very achievable to make that type of dollar per hour based on performance. So no matter what it is, all the way down from somebody just mowing, which we talked about earlier on the phone, up to your general manager, to your regional manager, they have to be incentivized what you want. If you want profit, pay them the profit. Give them a piece of the profit so they're focused on profit. If you want them to mow more lawns to good quality, then give them more money to mow more lawns to good quality, right? So, yeah, don't ever just pay hourly. It's bad mojo there. You're just going to get like and it used to drive me nuts too, that I would have, 2 guys and then one guy would work so much harder than the other guy, but they're both making the same amount of money. Like, I don't think that's fair. So that's my tip.
Yeah, that's really good. I totally believe that too. Just doing P for P, paying team members, employees that way has changed my mindset on the way that you pay people, and I really truly believe that uh, you should create incentives around the things that you want, like you were saying. So I that's really good. I totally agree.
Yeah, I will never pay somebody just hourly again. Even when we expand our office and hire another phone rep, there will be some type of hourly rate or salary. There has to be, but you have to pay them bonuses based on what you want. If you want them to make X amount of sales calls a day, then give them a bonus behind that. So there has to be some type of performance pay in every aspect of every business, no matter what it is. So
Yeah, that's solid.
yeah. All right, what do you got?
Yeah. So this kind of ties into like the first point, but just like seeing the light when there's only darkness, and this is something that I've dealt with recently, like when there's people leaving. I fired someone like 3-4 weeks ago, and um, we had trained them, both guys. We trained them entirely. We spent multiple weeks training them. Customers canceling, customers yelling at you. I got cussed out this week with one of my new team members, and it was really, really difficult. And in those moments, you get those thoughts of like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I putting in so much struggle and I'm not making any money? Um, you get those thoughts, and that's natural. That happens. Like I believe anybody is gonna in this position of growth and your business, you're gonna get those thoughts. But being able to see the light when there's only darkness is key, and I think it's the only way you could get past like the hurdle of growing your business to where you want it to be. So
Yeah. So
we
did you
had
say that
that.
you got cussed out by an employee of yours or a customer?
No, this was a customer. We were doing a project, and she had an issue with the communication via email and with the call office. So we never took her card down by mistake. This is our fault. We just somehow it slipped through the cracks. So that was one thing. We had scheduled the job the day before, so it was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, okay, we have an opening in the schedule that I just saw. Like I just saw it. I should have done this more in advance. But I was like, I sent her the email like, hey, we're scheduling you tomorrow. This is, we're scheduling a landscape job, whatever. And then we come out the next morning at 7 a.m. and she's leaving for work. We're 30 minutes into the job. She's leaving and she immediately gets out of the car and starts like berating us with words that are not very kind. Like not very good words at all. And um it definitely hurt for sure. I was like, whoa, this is and I've never even been cussed out by someone uh in person. I think I've been cussed out over the phone, over email. That happens, but in person she was like just totally unreasonable, very hard to deal with. I managed to actually convince her to actually let us finish the job. She had an issue with basically scheduling the job for her, and we never called her for the schedule date. And then she wanted us to leave while we were there. She's like, "Y'all need to leave." And I was like, "Hey, we're already here. We could just finish up the job for you. It'll only take us a couple hours. We'll be out of your hair." So she's like, "Okay, fine." She leaves, and then we go to charge the card, and then it fails because there's no card on file. So she gets an automatic email saying card failed or denied, and then she's upset again. She's like, "I never even put a card on file. How could it deny?" Oh, it was a fiasco. And it actually turned out to be a good thing for me, uh, in the end because I had a good conversation with her on things we could improve on, and she was actually nice about it afterwards. She apologized, for her kind of verbally assaulting me in person and in front of my new team member, which I don't think he deserved to hear that because he's literally his first week working, but
Yeah.
what can you do, you know?
It happens. There was one time Larissa was out doing an estimate. Like we sent out a one-click estimate and the customer accepted it. And she was like out there on the front lawn, like trying to get the numbers. And she came out and started like, "What the F are you doing on my property and all this stuff?" And she was like, "Whoa." And so we just kindly sent her an email. We were like, "Hey, we don't think we're the best fit for you anymore." Cause like, we don't want to, I don't know. I mean, like, but anyway, yeah, it happens sometimes. I think you handled it well of like trying to be respectful and trying to work together and figure it out, So
Yeah, and even like I was with Tyler and he was like, "Dude, you handled that really well." And I was like, "Yeah." I'm glad that I didn't because I was stressed out even then before her cussing me out, and then that happened. I think I handled that pretty well. Um, yeah, that was crazy. That
yeah,
was wild.
absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I want to jump in here real quick because I know we got some people in the live session right now. So we are doing a Q&A at the end of this. Let me throw up the banner. Boom. There it is on the bottom of the screen. Put your questions in the comments below so we can answer your questions that you have. Caleb, I don't remember if I left off or was it you on the next one?
You get the next point. And by the way, I'm switching over to my truck because my phone's about to die and I'm on a hotspot. This is not ideal, and I apologize. This is not what I wanted.
That's
Trying
okay.
to make things work, but I will make it work.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds good. So my next point here is constant education. So for me personally, like personal growth and constantly growing myself, like I would recommend anybody that is probably the biggest tip is to continue to educate yourself, grow, listen to an audiobook when you're out there, out mowing or doing weed control or landscaping. It's so simple. We just put out a book of the month for our crews this month. We are going to be going through Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, which is a very great leadership book, and already have a few team members that are really bought in to want to listen to it and grow themselves personally. So we are the lid to our organization. So don't ever stop learning and growing and educating yourself. That's my point.
Yeah, that's really good. And by the way, sorry, I know this is frustrating. Is it glitchy? Is this audio weird? I want to make sure.
I think it's good. I think, I can see you. We can hear you. So what
Okay.
other tip you got?
Yeah, I gotcha. So number 5 for me was like focus on recurring work. And this is totally dependent on your business, but I think in a home service business, if you can focus on recurring work and upsell later once you've already done the work for them, and they already trust you and you've got their information, you can send them one-click estimates every month, upselling the things that you want them to do and things that are in demand at that time of year. So like for us, it's like our recurring work is mowing. And when we've got them down, we've mowed for a month or 2, they like us. Then we send out a one-click estimate, and it's like, "Hey, we could do your shrubs, we could do your landscaping," and then they click that, we go out and do the estimate, and if they accept it, boom, that's extra, jobs on the schedule, more money. Um, so I think a lot of people kinda get it backwards. It's like, "Hey, the money's in the projects," which I think you can make great money in projects, but I really think, what builds a business is recurring work. Having a good It's like the foundation is your recurring work, and that's really what makes up a great business. And then the projects are the cherry on top, the profitable, um, extras that you get that comes with the mowing, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
agree. I think when you're first starting out in a business, like the one-time projects pays the bills because we're experiencing this right now with our second location. Like you just have to do bigger projects to really pay the bills and pay the salary because there's not enough recurring revenue. Like we just hit
Yeah.
50, actually we just hit 50 customers, 51 today. So,
Let's
you know, that
go.
that's nice. I'd feel way more comfortable if it was at 100 customers because I know that everything gets cut into a third in the wintertime, and I need to make sure that we're making payroll and all that stuff come the wintertime. But yeah, I think there's different seasons, but ideally overall recurring revenue is that sweet spot where you sell the customer one time, you retain them for hopefully 12, 24, 36 months, and really kind of like you only sell it one time and you're continually there. It's easier for you as a business owner to rely on the income, and it's easier on the crews to know what their schedules are too. So that's a good
Exactly.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, what about you?
So number 6 for me would be find a bigger why. So a lot of people, we all get in business to make money, to make some profit, take ideally have more freedom. I'm sure that's why a lot of us get into business. But I think if you dig deeper and come up with some good core values for your company, and as you start to hire 1 or 2 or 3 team members and start to scale and grow a business, you have to figure out and get and become and like do some true soul searching, like with your faith, and just really reach deep and find a bigger why. Like, why do you get up out of bed every single day to go work in 100-degree weather for 10 to 12 hours a day? There has to be a bigger why. Like, you getting cussed out by a customer, like when that happens, you need to dig deeper and be like, why am I doing this? And like have that North Star very clear for you. So that way, through the ups and the downs, like, you know why you're doing all of this, no matter how hard it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, you need that. You need a why. You need a reason for why you're doing it. If you don't, then you're going to be lost and you're most likely going to give up.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my number 6. What do you got?
So one that I've been struggling with, and I'm not very good at this right now, really just because I'm extremely busy. I could be doing better. But following up on leads. So like Mike Andy's really broke this down for me in a couple of his videos, but he's like, dude, you've got like 100 estimates sitting in your inbox and you're trying to hunt for more customers. You literally have 100 potential customers already sitting in front of you in your CRM. Why go after the lead, the expensive lead that's going to cost you 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks when you've already got one that you've paid for? Why don't you focus on that one and try to get them in? And you've already sent them an estimate, right? And you do that by following up. People forget. They forget about what you talked about. They have questions that they need answered. Um, things of that nature. It's like call them, text them, follow up, leave voicemails, do it multiple times until they give you an answer, whether that's yes or no. That's what you're really looking for, is a yes or no at least from these people. So that's a big one. That's something that I've struggled with because I'm so extremely busy. But one thing that I'm going to start doing, and that I started doing yesterday, is doing 5 follow-ups a day. It's easy. It takes me less than 30 minutes, which is a lot of time for me because I'm so busy, but it takes less than 30 minutes. And if I do 5 a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 calls a week. You times that by 4, that's 100 calls a month. I haven't ran the math yet, but it's better than doing 0 follow-up calls.
Yeah, and
So
honestly, Caleb, I think if you're allotting 30 minutes a day to do those calls, to be honest, 80% of those won't answer anyway. So literally in
yeah,
2 minutes, you'll be able to call and leave a voicemail to and then move on to the next person. So you might be able to tap into maybe 10, 12, or maybe even 15 if all of them don't answer, because it's about 2 minutes what I have found to do a follow-up estimate call. So I think that's huge. But
yeah, 5
really,
was
sorry, but yeah, like really like just cutting it down, or like breaking it down, instead of like sitting down all in one session and being like, oh, I got to call all of these. You just cut it up into like daily sessions, and then it doesn't make it bad as bad. I like that a lot.
yeah, yeah. Like we were speaking about earlier today, it's like whenever you see a list of 100 estimates you've got to call, it's very like discouraging. If you could just break it down into little pieces instead of trying to do it all at once, it's much more realistic that you can actually get that completed. So yeah, 5 was like the minimum. That's what I want to do minimum per day. If I have extra time, dude, I'm gonna call as many as I can.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I like that a lot. All right, last one, and then we're getting into the Q&A. If you guys got questions, put them in the comments below. My number 7. This sounds simple, but we are experiencing this in our new location because there's not many customers. But have designated zones for designated service days. Get locked in when you're starting your business to know what day of the week that you're going to be in that service area, and schedule those days and estimates and landscape jobs and mowing jobs on those specific days. It will make your life so much easier, because like I said, we're starting our second location already. I mean, we only have 50 customers over there, but the days that the GM literally has to drive all over the place, he's not getting as much work done. But on the days that we have really tight route density on the Monday routes, now that we're like really starting to fill things in, it's amazing the difference about like how he's able to pump out so much more budget hours because it's really tight. So if you aren't doing zones yet or having them like set up, definitely highly recommend it.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I had done that when I started out, and I started with like a 15-mile radius, which is huge. It's really, really big, like a 15, 20-mile radius. That's massive. Like even a 3-mile radius is big. If you depending on the area, like it could be pretty big. Right now we run about a 7-mile radius, and I want it to be smaller. I want it to
Yeah,
Stuff.
7 mile. That's about 7-8 miles. What we have at both of our locations. It's a pretty good. I mean, going from one end to the other when there's traffic is sometimes kind of a hike. It's like 30 minutes, which is kind of a lot. So
Yeah, it can definitely like there's a couple neighborhoods we're gonna cut out here soon, just because they're so out of the way, and I really want to have areas where there's a lot of connected neighborhoods. This one neighborhood's just out in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing around it, and we don't have many customers there.
yeah,
So
very cool. All
yeah,
right, what's your number 7?
yeah, it's an answering service. So I use CallBoss. I started this 2 months ago, and it's definitely been a learning curve. Like putting away the office related tasks to other people has been hard to do almost, but I've totally just handed it over to them for the phone calls. I still do emails. I still try to do follow-up calls and other office related work, but phone calls I think is the most important for me to get off my plate because I cannot always take phone calls. I cannot be doing 50, 60, 100 phone calls, however much it is per week. Whenever I'm out in the field working, I'm training, I'm doing things, I'm following up. I just can't. Like I think it just makes sense if you're spending, this such a like for us, like a large amount of cash on marketing. It's like if I'm going to spend all this money on marketing, uh, and I can't even take the phone calls, what's the point? It's like I'm throwing money into a fire pit continually. It just doesn't make sense. And I think at this stage of business where we're at, you know, it's cheaper compared to having a full-time office assistant and having a shop space or an office space that you have to rent out and all these extra things that come with an office person. And it's been a game changer. I really believe if you're trying to really grow your business quickly, you should use an answered service that works well with your CRM. 100%.
Yeah, we never used it for years. I mean, the first 4 or 5 years in our business, we didn't use it, but we are doing it this year, and it's working out well. It's working out very well.
Yeah.
I would second that for anybody who wants to grow and scale. Highly recommend it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up. That's our 7 tips to grow your mowing business in 2024. We are now going to get into the live Q&A, baby. So it's time.
Let's go.
Maybe Larissa will be a guest. Maybe not. But either way, we will be here. So let me go ahead and drop off this banner here, and we'll pull up the comments, see what we got. He said, "Hi, hello. We're coming out. We're out here in Texas country." Zachary Barber says, "Will, what's up, big dog? What's up?" He says, "I really like what you're doing out here for the lawn mowing community and veterans. At some time, we need to chat." We are chatting right now, my friend. It's glad to have you on the live Q&A. We appreciate you.
Hey,
right.
Will,
What's up?
are you still doing the coaching calls for people?
Okay, so that's a good question. I'm actually glad you asked that, Caleb. So, I am still doing free coaching calls. However, that is all on paused right now. So I will pick that back up in probably the fall timeframe. We'll do free Q&A sessions or not Q&A, coaching calls for 25 minutes. You can jump on a call with me to help grow your business. I'm just really, really busy right now with like a lot of stuff with the spring rush and everything. So right now, everything's on pause. So if you do email me, there is a delay on me getting back to you. I do apologize about that, but it will come soon. I will be doing the coaching calls come fall time frame. Absolutely. Good question, Caleb.
Let's go.
All right, this question is you, Caleb. You take it away here.
Zachary Barber, question. I don't know how long you've been out of the military, but did have the opportunity to do CSB/skills bridge/individual internship. I am currently finishing my career. I'm at 17 years of age.
I think this
I
question.
think this is a question for you. Yeah.
I think this question might be for me. So, Zachary, they did have some outboarding like processes of classes that I had to go to. So I'm not entirely sure what the CSP acronym is or Skill Bridge. I'm pretty sure I went through all of those kind of like courses. They teach you how to build a resume and all that stuff. I would recommend doing it. I mean, keep your options open, but obviously if you're wanting to start a lawn care business, you don't really need per se a resume and stuff like that.
All right. William, man, I know that spring rush is kicking everyone's. Thanks for doing this, even though y'all have 1,000 other things on your plate. Yeah, of course. I like doing this personally. I like talking to people and helping others out. It's pretty
Same.
fun.
I think
Yeah.
Caleb and I, like, although this is time consuming, and I mean, we're not really getting paid for this per se. I mean, there's a little bit of ad revenue that I make on the channel, but again, like I don't really take any of that home per se. But we just do it it's fulfilling for us to help you guys grow your businesses. So Brandon Muse says, nice mic. I learned from you, brother. I learned it from you.
Did you upgrade the mic?
I did. So this is the Shure SM7B, I think. I upgraded the mic. I upgraded the
Dang.
camera. So actually today I'm actually streaming on a Sony ZV-E10. It's like a really good camera that Larissa's mom got me for Christmas. And it doesn't probably look crystal clear today because honestly, I only have the basic version of StreamYard, but soon we will be a premium member and we'll be able to shoot in 1080p for everybody. But yeah, new mic, new camera. We're trying to step our game up on the YouTube side a little bit. Hired a video editor.
Big ballers. Yeah. The camera quality, I noticed that at the beginning. I was like, it looks really good.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you notice it different. I think it makes me like a little like more clear, and then the back it's got a little bit of like what's it called, like the blurriness. You know, there's like the focal point is me, ideally, but yeah. All right. So Zachary says, I have been planning my exit for the last 2 years. The reason I was asking if you did one of those programs is because I either want to work for a future competitor to learn the trade, weed and fert. I would definitely recommend doing that, whether it's through the military or not. Just get with somebody local. And I mean, there were times Larissa and I were like, we should go work for True Green or Gecko Green, you know, some of these other local companies by us to just learn their weed control program, you know. Speaking of which, I do have a weed control program on our channel. I go over like the whole guide completely for free. And I do have an applicators course too that it's kind of more basic stuff, but it does go in a little deeper on that. You want
to
this one?
work my own business on the program, but I don't know if they will let me. Well, what I will say is that I actually worked at True Green for like 2 or 3 weeks. I did to do the exact same thing. Like I just wanted to take information and learn as much as I can because I had zero knowledge or anything. There was nobody like I didn't know who to contact in regards to fertilizer weed control, and I just worked there for 2 or 3 weeks and took as much information as I could. And I got paid for it, which is cool.
That's awesome. I did forget that you worked at True Green. That's pretty funny. All right. Christian has 3 questions in here. So we'll just, I don't know, maybe bounce back and forth on this. So some questions for you. How much do you think someone starting out can make? It's all in their hands. Like, honestly, like if we just paused right there, if I knew what I know now and I had the confidence that I do now, I would crush the first year. You know what I mean? But like most people don't have that. Most people don't have that success or that track record or that knowledge yet, or even that hard work. Like Caleb was saying earlier, like it takes grit to be out there for 10, 12-hour days while your employee called off and you still have to mow 10 more lawns and it's like 3 p.m. and you've already been out there since 7 a.m. You know, so like there's a lot of variables in that. I think there's a lot of money that can be made, especially in a first year, if it's just you and maybe a helper, because you're taking home most profit.
Sorry. Okay, my phone is now charged pretty decently, so I can actually sit in my chair comfortably. I apologize.
That's okay.
Very unprepared. I've worked all day. I will answer the second question. So, what do you do with lawns soiled by animals? So I'm assuming he means like dog poop. I mean, it's hard, like honestly, for us because we'll send out an email just saying, hey, please pick up the dog poop the next time. What I put in my policy, like after the client accepts the estimate, and it sends this to them automatically, basically like a list of policies and fees. It says if you have one warning for dog poop, if you leave it out, we send you an email. The second time, we charge you your account $25 as an inconvenience fee. So I mean, you could just punish them financially by just taking $25 out of their account or however much you want to do, and you put that in your policy notes whenever you sign them up. So I mean, there's like a financial kind of like consequence if they decide to leave it out. But even then, like we still have people that just leave it out. I mean, you're gonna deal with it. It's part of it. I mean, you could also skip the backyard too. Just tell the customer, like if it's really bad, take a picture of it, note it, and then tell the customer, hey, like it's really bad, we can't finish it. Next time we'll be able to knock it out for you. So
Yeah, absolutely. So question number 3, how many customers should intake my first year? Like I said, that's how hard do you want to work? It really is all you're in control. Take full ownership of everything. Depends on when you start. I mean, we just started a second location and we're up to 51 customers. Granted, I started it towards the end of last year, but we started off this year with 15. So I don't know what the math is, 35, 36 new customers that we got. I'd say if you get anything, I mean, you could get anything anywhere from 1 to, I mean, if you really try to push hard, I'm sure you could probably maybe get 100 customers. We're trying to get 100 customers this year, in the first year, but we're running into a little bit of obstacles, but we're pushing through. So good questions.
all right, flock by the river. For Will, I see you guys only use push bars. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So I see you guys only use push mowers. Who do y'all not use, or why do you not? Okay. And what is the efficiency difference by using only push for all your yards? Thanks, Mike. Okay. So we only use 21-inch push mowers. There's kind of a handful of reasons why. All of our property, like legitimately, majority of our properties are 2,000 to 3,000 turf square feet. I mean, we have some that are like 4, 5, and 6,000, but most of them are like 2,000 to 3,000 turf square feet. We're in and out in 25, 30 minutes with solo mowing, weeding, edging, blowing. If we got a 32-inch stand on, we would be doing more turning on our properties than actually mowing. Like it's just faster on those. Now I understand on the bigger ones, the 5, 6, 7,000 turf ones, it would be faster. However, I can buy a 21-inch push mower for $1,700 versus having to buy a 32-inch stand-on for triple the cost. So I could buy basically 3 mowers and have 3 mowers making money than I could having one 32-inch stand-on. Is it more work physically? Yes. Do they have to walk more? Yes. But I'll tell you, there's also some pros. So when it rains a lot, you don't have to worry about the 32-inch mower ripping up the lawns when you're turning constantly. And we can typically mow within a few hours of it raining and it like soaking up with 21-inch push mowers because they're not as heavy as the 32-inch stand-ons. And then you have to go in and think about all of the routing. If you have like, it's just way more cost for the truck setup. It's just lower overhead and less moving parts as you scale. If they're all 21-inch push mowers, that's all you got to worry about. That's why we only run 21-inch. That was kind of a loaded question, but this one's for you, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb and Will, I'm in North Carolina, Charlotte area. Can I get your marketing plan in detail for this season? So he's actually in the area that Mike has all the locations, which I watched your podcast and apparently he had taken ownership of all those locations in the Charlotte area, which is pretty interesting. Marketing plan in detail for this season. Like for me, really, it's just been putting out Google ads, replying to Facebook posts, signs, and door hangers. I think door hangers has been the biggest for me. I'm getting the most leads and the most conversion from those. So that's all. That's what I've really been pushing the most is just door hangers this year. And I set a budget of I think it was like 12 $1,000 in marketing. I can't remember, between 10 and 12,000. And I did the math and I was like, okay, based off customer acquisition costs, I could probably get this amount of customers with this much money. That's what I did.
Yeah. So what we typically do is we take our gross revenue from the year prior, and if you do have a year prior, but we typically do try to do like 3% of what that number is. So like, I mean, last year we did like 550. I don't know what is 550,000 times 3%. Let me do the math real quick. 550 times 0.03. It's about $16,500. It also depends if you're in profit mode or growth mode, because obviously you don't want to spend $16,000 on your marketing budget if you're not trying to like grow top line tremendously. But yeah, I mean, we did a iPad. So I won the iPad on the Copilot group, and I blasted an email out to all of our customers saying, hey, you can win a free iPad as long as you give us a 5-star Google review. It's a 10-day challenge. Tell all your friends and neighbors. And I think we got like maybe 25 or 30 Google reviews from that. So that definitely helped like put us up there on the map. And then, yeah, the trucks, our Google SEO is really big. We sent out 30,000 EDDM this year. It did well at our main location. The second location didn't do that great. And then, yeah, door hangers is really, I think, what we lean into outside of like vinyling the trucks and stuff too. So just hitting it all, really.
Yeah. Hey, Will, real quick. I know this is annoying. My computer is going to die in like 8 minutes. So I might just like cut out here and you might have to like get the rest of the questions. I
Yeah,
apologize.
that's okay. I think there's only 2 questions here. We'll probably be able to knock them out here in the next couple of minutes because we're coming up on
Yeah.
57 minutes here too.
Yeah, my computer's saying 8 minutes. So
Okay. I think this one's yours, Caleb.
yeah, do you pay people to pass out door hangers? If so, what type of pay would you recommend? I've done it before. I'm not doing it this year just because cash is really tight. And I'm telling all the employees to do 5 rounds, do them while you're waiting on the other guy to finish up the lawn. And I'm doing them on my free time. I'm doing them on the weekends, Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, just knocking them out. Um, just focusing on trying to do a certain amount every single day, every week. But I would just pay whatever you can afford. Like, look at how much you make per month. And then if you can afford that based on the amount of profit you think you're going to make, pay them that amount of money. I'd probably say anywhere from, depending on where you're at, $10 to $15 per hour. And then, like, what I would do too is pay them per lead that you get from their door hangers. It's like you do $10 a lead. So then it's like they really want to put out door hangers because they're getting an extra $10 possibly per hour if
Yeah.
you get a lead per hour. So that's huge.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very big. Incentivize, pay what you want. And obviously, you don't want them sitting in the truck for 4 hours handing out flyers. So
Yeah.
give them that bonus. Definitely give them the bonus. All right, this one's also for you, Caleb.
Caleb, are the only one spraying in your company? Do you believe it would be much easier if you cut it out? Yeah, I'm the only one that sprays right now. I don't have anybody else do it. I need to train other folks to do it, but I have not. I think it would be much easier if I cut it out, just because it's not my strong suit. I think like my core services where I'm really, really good at are like bed maintenance and mowing. Like that's what I'm really, really strong at. The fertilizer weed control, I'm just not super strong at it yet. I think I need more time probably. But I think in terms of trying to scale, depending on what you want to do, um, for me, I just don't see fertilizer weed control going any further um, in this company, possibly. And if I were like, let's say to open up a second location, I wouldn't start with the fertilizer weed control. I would wait until I hit a certain amount of revenue and then add that if I was going to do it. I wouldn't start out with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last question. This is the last question from Estrella Lawns. What is the biggest thing that helps you stay organized in everyday operations? The wiki on Copilot is very, very good. Highly, highly recommend that. It helps keep everything organized. All of your basically office can reach those key documents that you need, your SOPs, standard operating procedures, your call flows, whatever key mixing details, like when you're mixing chemicals, like we put all that stuff on there. We put yeah, literally our whole program, everything's in the wiki. So highly recommend that on Copilot. All right, that's a wrap, dude. Great live
go.
Q&A with myself and Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you, everybody. We peaked at 21 students today, everybody. 21 students,
Go.
live students in our classroom. We appreciate all of you guys. We get fulfillment for helping you guys. Seriously, that's why we do this stuff, honestly. And we just want to help people, right? I mean, that's our core. And so, we really appreciate you guys spending time with us on your Saturday evening. And Caleb, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate you being a host too, seriously, because I wouldn't be able to do this by just myself. Oh, snap. We lost Caleb. All right. Well, guys, we will see Caleb next month. On the second Saturday of every month, we do a live Q&A. We will see you guys next month. Take care, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And hopefully you guys crush the spring rush that we are enduring.